If you're settling an estate here in Los Angeles, here's your answer up front. Most estates take 12 to 18 months. Some close in 9, some drag past 2 years. The difference isn't luck, and it isn't the judge. It comes down to a handful of things, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which timeline your estate is on, and what you can actually do about it. Hey, I'm Eric Baskett. I've been in real estate here in Los Angeles for 21 years. When I started, my kids were little. I was coaching baseball on the weekends. They're all grown now. Somewhere in those 21 years, this work found me. 53 probate estates, families in the middle of the hardest year of their lives. I also hold the Certified Probate Expert designation. That's a certification I earned through Probate Mastery, an organization that trains real estate professionals and service providers to work with families going through probate and estate administration. The focus of that training is leading with empathy and making sure families have everything they need to get through this. Let me tell you why this work matters to me. A while back, my mom needed her ceilings done. She and I have an agreement. I'm always there when someone comes to the house. Somebody called her out of the blue and set an appointment. 2 o'clock, a few days out. I pulled up at 1:45. There's already a Mercedes at the curb. I asked why they were early. They said they were in the neighborhood. They'd driven down from Glendale. Then they told me they'd already measured the house. 1,630 square feet. My mom's house is 1,200. I asked them to send me their proposal. They said they would. I'm still waiting. That's who's out there. And a lot of the families I sit down with in probate, they're cleaning up after somebody already got to their mom or dad. So that's who's talking to you today. Let's get into it. Now, I already gave you the answer. 12 to 18 months for most Los Angeles estates. But here's the thing. It depends is the most useless answer in the world when you're the one waiting. So the real question isn't how long does probate take? The real question is what makes your estate a 12-month estate or a 24-month estate? That's what we're covering today. First, the parts of the clock nobody can speed up. Then, the 5 things that slow estates down. Then, what to do if you inherited a house here but you live somewhere else. And at the end, the shortcuts California offers, including one that sounds great until you hear what it actually costs you here in LA. If you're in this right now, stay with me. This will save you months. Every Los Angeles estate runs on a clock with some fixed parts. Doesn't matter how simple the estate is, doesn't matter how organized you are. Part 1, getting appointed. Before anything happens, somebody has to be legally put in charge of the estate. That person is called the personal representative. Maybe the will name them. Maybe the court appoints them. Either way, nobody has authority until a judge says so. Not to sell, not to transfer anything, not even to open a bank account for the estate. You file a petition. The court gives you a hearing date. Here in LA, that's usually the Stanley Mosk Courthouse downtown. Figure roughly 2 months to get in front of the judge. Sometimes more. It moves with the court's calendar. And here's what I want you to hear. That timeline assumes your paperwork is right. If your petition has a defect, you don't lose a week. You lose your hearing date, and you wait for the next one. That's the first place families lose months, and it's completely inside your control. Part 2 of the clock. And this is the big one. Once the judge appoints you, the court issues a document called letters. That's your legal authority. That's the starting gun. And the moment those letters are issued, a 4-month window opens. California law gives anybody the estate owes money to 4 months to come forward and file a claim. Credit cards, medical bills, a contractor who is never paid. 4 months from the day you're appointed. Now let me show you why that matters. Say your mother had no debt, none. 1 heir, you. No arguments, no house to fight over. You still wait out those 4 months. No judge in Los Angeles will shorten that window for you. Not for a clean estate. Not for any estate. That's the floor. Everything else in this video is about what happens on top of it. So let me walk you through what a clean estate actually looks like. Month 1, you gather documents and file the petition. Get it right the first time. Around month 2, the hearing. You're appointed. Letters are issued. The 4-month clock starts. Months 2 through 6, the window runs. But you're not sitting still. You're building the inventory, a complete list of everything the estate owns. And here's something specific to California. You don't get to guess what the house is worth. The court assigns a probate referee, an independent appraiser who values the real estate for the estate. That takes time. Start early. Month 6, the creditor window closes. You pay the valid debts. You handle the final tax return. Months 7 through 10, you file a final accounting. Every dollar in, every dollar out. The court approves it. You distribute what's left. The estate closes. 9, 10 months. That's the best case in Los Angeles. Most estates aren't the best case, and this next part is why. After 53 estates, I can tell you 5 things stall probate more than everything else combined. Number 1, real estate. The house is almost always the biggest asset in the estate. It's also the most complicated. You can't split a house 3 ways like a bank account. It has to be sold, transferred, or formally distributed. And while probate runs, somebody has to insure it, secure it, maintain it, pay the bills on it. I've watched more estates stall over the house than everything else put together. Number 2, family disagreement. One sibling wants to sell, one wants to keep it, one wants to move in. I've seen a disagreement like that add a full year to an estate, not because of the court, because nobody would make a decision. If that's your family right now, you're not alone. It's the most common thing we see. Number 3, disputed creditor claims. If somebody files a claim against the estate and you don't think it's valid, that fight has to resolve before anything closes. One rejected claim can turn into a lawsuit, and a lawsuit freezes the whole estate. Number 4, missing heirs. You'd be surprised how often this happens. A half-sibling nobody's spoken to in 20 years, a cousin who moved overseas. The estate cannot distribute until every person entitled to a share is found and accounted for. And number 5, taxes. The final tax return for the person who passed. Sometimes an estate tax filing on top of that. Waiting on the IRS adds months. Here's the pattern I want you to see. One of these adds months. 2 or 3 of them stacked together. That's how a 1-year estate becomes a 2-year estate. Now, there's one situation that hurts more than any of these. And if it's yours, this next part is for you. Maybe you inherited a house here in Los Angeles, but you live in Texas, or Ohio, or Arizona. Every month, probate runs isn't just waiting for you. It's managing a property from 2,000 miles away. Who's checking on the house? Is it insured as a vacant property? Because here's something families learn the hard way. A standard homeowner's policy can lapse or deny a claim once a house sits empty. Who's cutting the grass before the city sends a notice? Who changed the locks? Who's picking up the mail so the house doesn't look abandoned? I've had families fly out here 4, 5 times during an estate. Flights, hotels, time off work. It adds up fast, in money and in stress. You don't have to figure this out alone. We put together a free property securing checklist. Everything a vacant or inherited property needs in one list. Lock changes, insurance, maintenance, mail. The link is right below this video. It's free, no strings attached. Now, the question I get more than any other. Eric, can I sell the house before probate is finished? In California, in a lot of cases, yes, but it depends on something most families have never heard of. When the court appoints your personal representative, it grants them a level of authority, full authority, or limited authority. With full authority, a sale can often move forward without going back before a judge. With limited authority, the sale goes back to the court for confirmation. And in some of those cases, the sale opens to overbid, meaning somebody can show up in that courtroom and bid against your buyer. I'm not telling you which one applies to you. Your attorney will. Here's what I want you to take away. You do not automatically have to wait until probate closes to deal with the property. Families lose months assuming they're frozen. Often, they're not. Ask the question early. It can change your entire timeline. Now let's talk about the shortcuts, because California has a few, and most families have never heard of them. First, the small estate affidavit. If the personal property in the estate falls under a certain dollar limit, and that number changes, so check the current one, you may be able to collect those assets with a sworn affidavit. No full probate. You wait 40 days after the death, and you go. Second, and this one made headlines, California created a streamlined court process for a person's primary residence. If the home is worth up to $750,000, the family can often transfer it through a simplified petition. Months instead of a year. Sounds great. Now look around Los Angeles. $750,000 doesn't buy a house in most of this county. So for a lot of the families watching this, that shortcut is not available to you. And nobody is telling you that. I'd rather you hear it from me now than find out in month 4. Third, if you're a surviving spouse, ask your attorney about a spousal property petition. There's no dollar limit on that one. And fourth, some assets skip probate entirely. Life insurance with a named beneficiary, retirement accounts with a named beneficiary, property held in joint tenancy, a funded living trust. Those pass outside the estate. No court, no waiting, done. And if you're watching this thinking about your own estate someday, that right there is the lesson. The best time to shorten probate is before it ever starts. Now, I want to be clear about something. Everything in this video is educational information. It's not legal advice, it's not tax advice. Your situation is specific to you. Always work with a licensed California probate attorney and a qualified tax professional before you make decisions. Here's what I want you to remember: 12 to 18 months for most Los Angeles estates. The 4-month creditor window is fixed, you can't rush it. But almost everything else? You have more control than you think. File clean, decide early, don't sit on the house. And if this feels like a lot right now, that's normal. Nobody teaches you how to do this, and then one day you're in the middle of it. We put together a free probate resources guide, step by step for the whole process. And if there's real estate in your estate, anywhere in the country, we can connect you with a certified probate agent in your area. All of it is free, no obligation, no pressure. The links are right below this video. I'm Eric Baskett with the Estate Aid Network. You don't have to do this alone.